If you thought the chaos at Newark was finally ending, brace yourself. Your next 2 summers of travel could still be stuck on the tarmac. That's the blunt reality the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, dropped on travelers this week when it announced plans to keep Newark Liberty International Airport, EWR, locked at a hard ceiling of 72 takeoffs and landings per hour all the way through October 24th, 2026. Yes, you read that right. Another full year of throttled capacity at one of America's busiest hubs, all because the nation still doesn't have enough air traffic controllers to safely juggle the jets. But here's where it gets controversial. Some industry insiders argue the cap is actually saving Newark from itself, while others insist it's a Band-Aid that punishes passengers more than it protects them. From 68 to 72, a slight bump that isn't slight at all. Since June 2025, Newark has been squeezed down to 68 movements an hour, 34 arrivals, and 34 departures, after the FAA decided the airport's chronic congestion and ATC understaffing had reached crisis levels. Under the newly proposed extension, the limit would inch up to 72 movements, 36 in, 36 out. During most of the winter 2025 to 26 and summer 2026 seasons, that 4-flight bump may sound trivial, but at Newark, it translates to roughly 100 extra seats per hour, or the difference between a sold-out Friday evening and hundreds of stranded flyers sleeping under departure boards. And this is the part most people miss. The 72 flight cap only applies when construction crews aren't ripping up runways. During planned work windows, capacity will plunge to just 56 movements an hour, about the same traffic volume as a mid-tier regional airport, not a global gateway 15 miles from Manhattan. Why the FAA won't let Newark run wild? The regulator's reasoning is simple. If the cap disappears on December 31st, 2025, as originally scheduled, the same staffing shortfalls that triggered massive delays and cancellations last spring will flood back. Philadelphia Tracon, the facility currently handling Newark's approach and departure radar, is still operating with barely 72% of its authorized controller roster. The Area C sector that covers Newark, less than half staffed. Until those numbers climb, the FAA says unrestricted growth equals gridlock. Cue the controversy. Critics contend the FAA is masking a staffing crisis with passenger-hostile rationing. Supporters counter that without the cap, Newark would resemble a parking lot with wings. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby, whose carrier controls 2/3 of Newark slots, has publicly praised the extension, claiming it gives United predictability and has already delivered the best operational reliability we've ever had at EWR. Traveler advocates, however, ask why the flying public should celebrate fewer choices and higher fares just so one airline can run a smoother operation. Memorial Day mayhem. A glimpse of life without limits. The stakes became painfully clear last May when a single-point communication failure wiped out more than 200 flights during the Memorial Day rush. Controllers were so stretched that on one Monday evening, a lone certified controller and a trainee handled every arrival and departure for 3 straight hours. Stories like that fuel the FAA's argument that Newark is one hiccup away from cascading delays that ripple across the entire Northeast corridor. Yet the agency admits its own staffing fixes are moving at glacial speed. The national controller shortfall still hovers around 3,500 bodies. A recent $2.3 billion budget boost should fund roughly 2,500 new hires. But training a fully certified controller takes 3 to 4 years. Hardly fast relief for summer 2026 vacationers. Construction, copper cables, and a fiber optic lifeline. To its credit, the FAA has thrown some infrastructure lifelines into the mix. A brand new fiber optic backbone now replaces the aging copper network, that failed spectacularly in April and May, taking down critical radar and radio links. Still, hardware upgrades can't land planes when there's no one qualified to clear them for takeoff. The big question, is 72 the magic number or just a political sweet spot? The FAA insists 72 movements per hour is the safe maximum, given current staffing and runway geometry. Skeptics wonder if the number was chosen less by engineering models and more by political calculus. High enough to keep airlines and airport authorities from revolting. Low enough to mask the controller deficit until the next budget cycle. So, what do you think? Is the FAA's extended cap a responsible safeguard, or is it institutionalized gridlock dressed up as safety? Would you rather risk occasional mega delays in exchange for more flight options, or accept fewer flights in the name of reliability, even if it means higher ticket prices? Drop your take below. The debate is far from over, and the next time you're stuck at gate 97 with a 3-hour delay, you'll know exactly whose math decided your fate.